In the headlines, bandits attack Gago community in Katsina, kill 1, abduct 2. 5 seafood traders die in Ondo boat mishap. 3 policemen, 7 others arrested over suspected murder of 2 women in Adamawa. On the foreign scene, intense fighting in Sudan after 24-hour ceasefire ends. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. Beginning with security matters, bandits' attacks on communities in Katsina State is resurfacing. The bandits attack Gago village just 4 kilometers south of Dutsima town, headquarters of Dutsima local government area, killing 1, Kala Bosa, abducting 2 others. Abdullahi Amadi reports.
This is the 8th time terrorists are attacking Gago village within 3 months, abducting people for ransom, rustling domestic animals and looting shops. The bandits riding on motorcycles armed with AK-47 rifles unleashed mayhem on Gago community, killing their victim when he resisted being kidnapped.
The way I look at this issue of banditry is becoming rampant and is disheartening. The first time they entered, they were able to abduct one Alhaji Megeda, on which ransom has to be paid before they release him. The second time they came, there was one businessman called Alhaji Sada Gago, the one that is selling sewing materials. They abducted him and one Bogobri. They spent almost 3 to 4 weeks with the bandit. But before they release them, ransom has to be paid before they release them. And again, they carry another group of people. Still, ransom has to be paid before they release them. So eventually, this is the 8th time they are entering this village. So honestly speaking, enough is enough.
The whereabouts of the 2 kidnapped victims is unknown, as their abductors are yet to make demands to the villagers. I want to appeal to the new administration of Diko Umarana to come to our rescue. This village has been coming under terrorist attacks. In fact, this is the 8th in the series of attacks. Many of our women and girls have been raped, several others abducted, and ransom paid for them to regain their freedom. We are tired. Residents are, however, hopeful that government will deploy security operatives to the areas to reduce the frequency of the attacks and enable them concentrate on their farming activities. In recent time, there have been reports of pockets of attacks on some communities of Faskari, Jibia, Bazari, Kankara, Funtua, Dandumi, and Sabo local government areas. Security agencies in Katsina State are yet to comment on the latest attack. Abdullahi Amadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Police in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, said a suspected informant and logistics supplier to a kidnapping and banditry group terrorizing the FCT and its environs has been arrested. The police public relations officer in the FCT, SP Josephine Ade, said this in a statement on Sunday in Abuja. She said that the suspect arrested by the anti-kidnapping unit at the Mongoro forest had been on the wanted list of the command. Ade said that the suspect was arrested over involvement in the supply of firearms, ammunition, and other weapons. She said the suspect was also involved in the supply of food items and illicit drugs to the criminals in their various hideouts in the forest using a motorcycle. According to her, exhibits recovered from the suspect include 1 AK-47 rifle, AK-47 ammunition, 1 mobile phone, foodstuffs, and an unregistered Boxer motorcycle. She said that investigation into the case had been intensified to identify and cut off the criminal supply chain and arrest other members of the gang. In a related development, Ade said that the command had arrested 11 suspects over illegal possession, fabrication and production of small arms and light weapons, armed robbery and other criminal offences. She said that the suspects were intercepted and arrested in the Zuba area of the FCT by operatives of the State Intelligence Bureau. Ade said that the items recovered from the suspects were 4 locally made firearms and 1 live cartridge. According to her, preliminary investigations by the police reveal that the gang is involved in the fabrication and production of small and light weapons locally. She said operatives from Utako Divisional Police Headquarters had on Wednesday arrested 8 suspects over armed robbery at one Amala Garden in Utako. They said that 3 firearms of different caliber, knives and hard drugs were recovered from the suspects who were arrested following a tip-off. Tragedy occurred at the weekend as 5 seafood traders lost their lives in a boat mishap in Ilaje local government area of Ondo State. Reports say that the deceased were in transit on the waterways to a local market in Ugbonla, one of the coastal communities in Ilaje local government area, to get seafood when their boat capsized. Confirming the incident on Sunday, the national president of the Ondo State Fishermen Association of Nigeria, Arioe Benedict, said that 6 traders were involved in the mishap, but only 1 was rescued. Now, Benedict noted that the remaining 5 would have been rescued if they had used life jackets during their trip. While commiserating with the families and relatives of the deceased, Benedict bemoaned the attitude of passengers using the waterways to trade their business without the use of life jackets. He underscored the importance of the jackets, particularly when plying the coastal regions of the state and the country at large, stressing that its significance will enhance safety and increase the chances of survival during an emergency. According to him, the state government needed to urgently put in place stringent measures that will mandate the use of life jackets by commuters on waterways. 3 policemen and 7 other residents of Roma community of Dunne in Song, local government area of Adamawa State, are in police custody for alleged killing of 2 women over alleged witchcraft. Now, a statement by the image maker of the Adamawa State Police Command, SP Suleiman Ngoroje, said that the police will ensure that those accused of the killing over alleged witchcraft are diligently prosecuted. The women were stripped naked and beaten mercilessly by a mob because of the allegation of witchcraft leading to their death. The Commissioner of Police, Afolabi Babatola, who expressed shock over the unprofessional conduct displayed by his men, deployed the Deputy Commissioner of Police to arrest those accused of maltreating and assaulting the women. Equally, the CP has ordered thorough investigation into the immediate and remote cause of the incident to ensure speedy dispensation of justice. Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State has sworn in Interim Transition Committee chairpersons for 17 local government areas at the Government House in Jos. The governor, represented by his deputy, Josephine Pio, during the ceremony said that the exercise was necessary to ensure that no vacuum existed in his administration. Ado Musa reports.
The swearing in the caretaker chairman came after Governor Mutfwang suspended the elected chairman of the local government councils 3 days after his assumption of office, following the recommendation of the Plateau House of Assembly. According to the governor, the suspension followed their alleged inability to produce documents related to financial transactions in the various local governments. While administering the oath of office, the deputy governor says the suspension of the chairman became necessary to give way for investigation, adding that in order not to allow vacuum at the local government councils, the government has to appoint the interim chairpersons.
This was based on the inability of the chairman to produce certain documents that had to do with financial transactions at their local government councils.
The governor also directed the new chairman to cooperate with the State House of Assembly in providing all documents needed for investigation of the alleged misappropriation by the suspended chairman.
To give way to efficient and proper investigation, it has become imperative to suspend not only the executive structure of the local government council, but also the legislative structure.
The suspended chairman has soon after their suspension insisted that the governor has no right to suspend them, adding that they are still the chairman of their respective local government areas. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike wants local government chairmen in the state to support President Bola Tinubu and his successor, Siminalayi Fubara, to chart a better course for the country. Wike spoke when he received the 23 local government council chairmen of Rivers State in his country home in Port Harcourt. The report.
Former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike wants local government chairmen in the state to support President Bola Tinubu and his successor, Siminalayi Fubara, to chart a better course for the country. Wike spoke when he received the 23 local government council chairmen of Rivers State in his country home, Rumwekbirikom, Port Harcourt. The former governor said unlike the former administration, the federal government led by President Tinubu will not be hostile but friendly to Rivers State. Wike said he would not hesitate to ensure that Senator Godswill Akpabio and Tajuddin Abbas emerge Senate President and Speaker for the 10th National Assembly as endorsed by the ruling All Progressives Congress leadership.
You don't need to be liked. I've told people support for the unity of Nigeria. And the unity of Nigeria is that the South side should produce the Senate President.
The former governor, who credited some of the successes he achieved in office to the support he got from the different local governments, urged them to also give Governor Siminalayi Fubara their unalloyed loyalty and support.
Support, not 99.1, 100% support.
Speaking during the visit, the leader of the delegation and mayor of Port Harcourt, Allwell Ihunda, explained that the visit was at the instance of the chairman to affirm their political loyalty and commitment to his direction.
Our governor, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, the governor of Rivers State, that we're going to give him the same 100% support that we give to you. That at any point in time we are called upon as council chairmen, always count on us and also count on our loyalty and our support.
Nyesom Wike, though a PDP chieftain, has been hobnobbing with the ruling APC, fueling insinuation that he is planning to defect to the ruling party to secure a ministerial appointment.
The candidate of the African Action Congress in the November 11th governorship election in Kogi State, Austin Abu Achimugu, has enjoined the electorate to rise up in unison and bring the state back to its enviable position of the past. The AAC candidate disclosed this in Lokoja at the weekend while addressing the stakeholders and supporters of the party during his official unveiling ceremony as the flag bearer of the party in Lokoja. He said that all hands must be on deck to remove the gap of poverty and leadership failure that have bedeviled the state for years. Achimugu added that he has what it takes to revamp the ailing Kogi economy if elected as the governor of the state come November 2023. The AAC standard bearer, who was unveiled alongside his running mate, Deji Bamidele, said that the state has been ripped of its prosperity and there is urgent need to take it back from the hands of its plunderers to join the committee of great states in the country. The AAC flag bearer stated that he is on a rescue mission in the state, stressing that he will turn around the economy of the state with surgical operation on education, health and agriculture to create income and employment, as well as raise the standards of living in the state. Now, Kano State Government has resumed demolition of structures built on public places that were allegedly sold out by the immediate past administration of Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. This is coming barely few days after two former governors of the state, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and the Ganduje, were involved in heated exchanges over the demolitions. The duo had visited President Bola Tinubu on Friday, and issues of the demolition was raised, while Ganduje said that he told the president that the demolition was illegal and dangerous for the state. Kwankwaso claimed he told the president that the former governor had sold out significant places, including mosques and graveyards. But in the early hours of Sunday, the demolition continued, and according to the list, buildings to be demolished were shops built by the fence of the Sani Abacha Stadium at the Kofar Mata, GSS Kofar Nasarawa facing IBB Road, and buildings by GGSS Dukawia Goron Dutse. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at a recipe for tackling unemployment monster. Details and more after the break. Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at the top stories again. Bandits attack a Gago community in Katsina, kill 1, abduct 2. 5 seafood traders die in Ondo boat mishap. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA have uncovered a secret laboratory producing deadly illicit substance, methamphetamine, in a residential community located in Ikeja, Lagos State, where already packaged sachet of the drug and various precursor chemicals used in the production were recovered. A statement signed by Femi Babafemi, NDLEA Director, Media and Publicity, said that the clandestine laboratory located at number 4 Bode Oluo Street, Mende, Maryland, Ikeja, was stormed by anti-narcotics officers of the agency on Tuesday after credible intelligence and surveillance confirmed the illicit substance was being produced in the duplex building. At the end of the search, 1 kilogram of already produced and 1 packaged methamphetamine quantities of precursor chemicals and other items used for the production of the deadly drug were recovered from the house, while efforts are on to apprehend the fleeing owner of the house. The statement said that officers and men of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Imo, Kebbi, Oshun, Benue, Edo, and Ondo commands were commended for the seizures and arrest of the past week. Some Lagos residents say that rising unemployment in the country can be halted if government and the private sector employ graduates based on skills acquired, competence, and not based on someone's connection. Victoria Tokolo speaks to the residents on ways to stimulate economic growth.
Rising inflation and poverty level are said to be worsening with dwindling economic fortunes in the country. To curb this, some Lagos residents recommend a deliberate recruitment policy in both public and private organizations that give preference to skills, competence, and merits.
Graduates can actually defend their certificates, or not that they don't know what they went to do in school. But basically, our companies nowadays, they don't employ you based on your certificates. They don't employ you based on what you have upstairs. They employ you based on, this my man knows the MD. This my man knows the director of the company. This my man knows the HR of the company. So that's how they employ nowadays, not based on what you have upstairs.
Affecting the unemployment in Nigeria is corruption. I can say it's corruption. Our leaders will have failures, so the system is bastardized. So that's the real reason. Because in a system, an economy that is working very well, the government have to lay more emphasis on developments. I mean, and the foreign investor will enter. But now that we have political crisis, a lot of foreign investors that we have in Nigeria, many of them are closing up, they are shutting down, they are leaving our country to another country.
Graduates who may have completed the mandatory National Youth Service (NYSC) find it difficult to get job placement owing to the saturation in the labor market. Residents want the new government to come up with innovation that will address this.
If government should create job, factories, manufacturing companies, I think this will go down. I know we cannot be all employee or employed. Some should go for business or any other ideas.
Yes, the Nigerian government should actually create job opportunity for graduates in the country to be able to gain fully employed after graduating from school. Yes, I also believe that recruitment of staff or employment of graduates should be based on qualification, because it has become a trending situation in the country whereby the recruitment, the employment they are giving is based on who you know.
He said that addressing unemployment among youth is recipe for political stability and economic growth.
About 3,000 Kano State pilgrims have arrived at the holy cities of Mecca and Medina ahead of this year's Hajj. Abdullahi Amadi reports that the headquarters of the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board is now a beehive of activities since the commencement of the 2023 Hajj operations. The report.
At the moment, the sixth flight of intended pilgrims from Kano State is expected this Saturday evening. The remaining 2,000 intended pilgrims from the state are to be airlifted before the 15th of this month.
We had some few days without airlift because of this issue of visa. But as at now, we are able to overcome this visa problem, inshallah. So, as usual, we normally request the pilgrims to be patient and follow all due procedures. They should follow the rules and regulations both here in Nigeria and in the Saudi Arabian authorities, so that they can always be conducting themselves according to the provisions of the law.
Delay in distribution of basic traveling allowance to the intended pilgrims by banks is, however, a challenge.
Like our own yellow cards and maybe the collections of BTA, you know, the distribution used to take time. Yeah. That's why as soon as we are done with the passport, after scanning the passport, then the next step is distribution of BTA. So we used to call the bank's officials to come for that distribution, because this distribution is taking time. Like you are seeing now, the whole pilgrims are here. We are waiting for the BTA.
Traders and other vendors who deal in things needed by the intended pilgrims are making a brisk business. Most of the intended pilgrims interviewed commended the resilience and commitment of the officials of the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board in ensuring age-free 2023 Hajj operations. Abdullahi Amadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
On the foreign scene, shelling and gunfire resumed on Sunday in the Sudanese capital, witnesses said, after the end of a 24-hour ceasefire that had given civilians respite from nearly 2 months of war. Deadly fighting has raged in the northeast African country since mid-April when Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his former deputy Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo, who commands the paramilitary rapid support forces, turned on each other. The latest in a series of ceasefire agreements enabled civilians trapped in the capital, Khartoum, to venture outside and stock up on food and other essential supplies. But only 10 minutes after it ended at 6 a.m. on Sunday, the capital was rocked again by shelling and clashes. Heavy artillery fire was heard in Khartoum and its twin city, Omdurman, to the north, and fighting also erupted on Al-Hawa Street, a major artery in the south of the capital, they said. Multiple truces have been agreed and broken, including even after the United States had slapped sanctions on both rival generals after the previous attempt collapsed at the end of May. Now, 24-hour ceasefire that ended on Sunday morning had been announced by U.S. and Saudi mediators, who warned that if it failed, they may break off mediation efforts. And in sports news, Irish athlete Rasheedat Adeleke moved to 20th in the all-time list for the women's 400 meters as she won the National Collegiate Athletics Association title in the U.S. Adeleke, 20, smashed her own Irish record by 0.34 seconds in Texas by triumphing in 49.20 seconds. U.S. star Britton Wilson was the strong favorite for the final, but had to settle for second spot in 49.64 seconds. Adeleke's win saw her become the first Irish victor at the NCAAS since 2006. Sligo athlete Mary Cullen's 5,000 meters triumph 17 years ago was the last time an Irish athlete had triumphed at the prestigious U.S. Collegiate Championships. Wilson remains second in this year's world rankings behind Dominican Republic athlete Marilady Paulino, but the American was unable to get close to her season's and personal best of 49.13 seconds as she was overhauled by the Irish woman in the closing 50 meters. The Americans' hopes of achieving a historic 400 meters and 400 meters hurdles double at the championships unraveled as she later could only finish 7th over the barriers in a disappointing time of 55.92 seconds, some 1.47 seconds behind winner Savannah Sutlan. And that's it for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.